Hey guys, Ashley here, also known as the HLE fan. I'm here today with another video. This is another wrestling topic video. Um, and this topic is different from the typical women's division type video. This video is specifically about Roman Reigns. And I'm just sick and tired of hearing the same thing of when it comes to him about he needs to drop the titles, he's using the Usos, he's who should dethrone him. So I just want to talk about how I personally feel about him being the champion because I usually don't talk about him much on my channel, and I've always been a fan of him. So personally, I feel like honestly, he's been a great champion. He's been an amazing undisputed champion, and I honestly was never against him having the titles, and I'm still not against him having both titles. Like I feel like the problem, I know that people say the problem with Raw is that there's no champion. I think the problem with Raw is the fact that there's no stars. Like Roman Reigns being the champion is not the problem. Well, I feel like it would be nice if he showed up to Raw a little bit more and stayed on Raw just a little bit more, because I feel like when he's there, he kind of just leaves. When he's on SmackDown, he stays a little bit and then he leaves. But I wish on Raw he would just stay a little bit more, probably have more vignettes backstage. But I feel like the problem with Raw is that there's no stars. Like, there's really no strong personalities or any strong characters to really care about on that brand. Like, the only person that I care about is Seth Rollins. Like, I don't care about anybody else. I only watch the show for his segment, his match, and whatever. If it's not Seth, I don't care. Edge is not on TV. Randy's not on TV. Like, there's no one on TV to keep me interested in Raw. I don't care about the women's division. Alexa Bliss is in the shadow of Bianca. Like, I just don't care about the women's division. Like, no one is stepping out and catching my interest. It's just hard to get behind some of them because it's like they're literally doing the same old thing. The damage control thing is a joke. Bianca has been champion for way too long, and there's that. But I honestly feel like the problem with Reigns is the fact that people are blaming him for saying that the reason why Raw sucks is because he's never on the show. It's like, are you serious? Because when he is on the show, Raw at least is interesting. But when he leaves, boy, is it just, it goes straight downhill. Like I said, I only watch for Seth Rollins' segment. So I never had a problem with him being champion. I'm loving his title reign. It's historic. It's meaningful. It's believable. He looks like the guy. Like, these are the reigns that fans have been crying about. Actually, I don't even know what to call some of these people that are in the wrestling community. Do I call them fans? Do I call them complainers? Do I call them whiners? I don't know what to call them because these fans cry about everything. I don't even complain that much. I only complain when I see the same shit every time. When I see the same shit or when it was dumb. Like Austin Theory cashing in a U.S. Championship. You just ruined the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't care about Austin Theory. I never did. He should have never won it. But what I'm pissed about is Triple H ruining the briefcase. Things like that. But people are fucking crying about Roman Reigns being champion when this is what you guys wanted. Like, I don't get it. What? Because now the whole roster is buried. I guess so-called buried. He's burying the roster. He's having a reign of terror. Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? He's burying the roster. He's actually helped some of these guys to elevate. They weren't doing shit until Roman Reigns started feuding with them. Kevin Owens was directionless. Who else did he fight? Finn Balor. He's always been directionless. He sucks. Kevin Owens sucks. Like, you get my point. Like, some of these guys were just completely directionless before Roman Reigns got in the ring with them. But he's burying the roster. No, some of these guys bury themselves. Don't try to ever blame Roman Reigns for burying anybody. Some of these people bury themselves. And the next thing I'm going to talk about. Okay, we're done with his title reign. It's been historic. I'm not complaining about anything right now. Honestly, I feel like the problem is not Roman Reigns. It's the problem is there's no stars on the brands. Like, you can't blame him, and then you can't blame him for everything and not talk about WWE's lack of trying to make anyone interesting. Even Triple H, I don't think he's really doing that good of a job of trying to make anyone look interesting or stand out. I don't think he's really doing a good job. But let's move on. On to my next point. People complaining about Roman Reigns using his bloodline to retain championships. Okay, so here's something I want to talk about. Is Roman Reigns not a heel? Because last time I checked, I thought he was a heel. And heels use tactics, cheat ways to win, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how it's always been with heels, right? Or am I wrong? So when I hear fans complaining, like I just said, I'm gonna call them crybabies. I'm not gonna call them fans, because real wrestling fans, casual fans, diehard wrestling fans know this is the part of the heel thing. And I don't know of any real casual fans or any real diehard wrestling fans who watch Roman Reigns are like getting sick of this too. For me personally, I don't think it's repetitive or getting stale. I just feel like I'm really just interested to see what he's gonna do next. And I just hate that he's on the show every single day like he used to be. I just wish he's on the show more. Because whenever he's on the show, I just feel like I just miss him a lot, and I just wish he would just be on the show. But I'm not someone who's like, it's getting repetitive, it's getting boring. Like, no, every time his bloodline interferes, it's always something interesting, it's always entertaining. But I feel like, what's the point of him having this dominant fraction if they can't help him win? It's the same mentality with the Authority. Seth Rollins, for example. Seth Rollins was the champion in the Authority, and he always used the Authority to help him gain ability in the matches. What would be the point of Seth Rollins joining a group if he can't have people in the group help him win? That makes no sense, especially if he's a heel. What would be the point? A heel is supposed to use tactics, cheat tactics, to win a match if it means necessary. And sometimes in those matches, they were necessary. I don't understand why people are complaining about this. It's like he's a heel. It's the same thing with Triple H when he was World Champion in Evolution. He had Rick, Randy, and Batista come out there and help him whatever means necessary to help him win. He was a heel. He wanted to get under people's skin. He wanted to put down the baby faces that the fans even thought came close to stripping the title off of him. At least like Roman Reigns, on the Triple H, the guys on Roman Reigns' face, none of them had a chance to win it. None of them. Not even Brock Lesnar or John Cena. Like WWE was not going to have them dethrone Roman Reigns. It just, like, no offense to John Cena, I love him, but what would that have done? I mean, especially now. I mean, what would that really have done? I mean, yeah, it would have brought ratings, but like, I don't think he really needs the title. Like, Johnson doesn't really need it, and Brock Lesnar doesn't really need it either. So it's like it's obvious they're not gonna have him dethrone it to these guys, and it's just like, what's the point of him being a heel if he can't use his bloodline to help him cheat? It's like, you guys sound really stupid. I hear people saying that he's a bitch now, and that the character shouldn't be vulnerable without the bloodline. And I want to talk about that too. I actually wanted to make a video on the bloodline about this confusing storyline that's going on. So that might be my next wrestling topic video. But I want to talk about this whole thing about Roman Reigns being vulnerable and everything. So I have realized lately, what I will give the fans is that, I don't know, recently it seems like when no one's there in his corner, he seems kind of lost. But there were other matches where he didn't have anyone there, and he seemed fine. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't agree with the whole thing about him being vulnerable, because if I don't know, I don't agree with that either on some extent, because I realized in a match he had with Drew McIntyre, he seemed like kind of lost and like scared a little bit. Like, not scared of Drew McIntyre, but like scared of the fact that he had no one there to play up to his character. And I feel like he doesn't really need that. Like, yeah, Paul Heyman is a big accessory to that, but like, does he really need Paul Heyman to remind him of who he is? Yes, it's nice to have someone there and like your royal deed, and have them tell you like, you're the king, you're the boss, you're in charge, no one else is. Yes, but Roman Reigns knows that, and it's okay for him to have someone tell him that, but not every single time, because that only makes him just look insecure, and I don't. So yeah, I don't get what that's about. I'm not gonna try to jump into that, because that's the only time I have realized it. And so I know a lot of people say that's not how the character should be, and I agree. I don't feel like he should be insecure or scared or vulnerable about not having the Usos or Paul Heyman there with him, because he knows he's in charge. He knows that he's running it. So I don't think he needs to be validated every single second, especially if he knows that he is. It doesn't make sense. So I will agree with fans there. So that's the thing. I feel like Roman Reigns, him using the bloodline makes sense, whether you guys want to believe it or not. It makes sense. It makes sense for the moment. It makes sense for the matches. It makes sense for his character. And the next thing, who should dethrone Roman Reigns? Honestly, I know a lot of people say it should be Cody Rhodes, and if you ask me, that would be the worst decision WWE would ever do. I know a lot of people say Cody Rhodes should be the next star to run the business, to be the face of the business. Are you serious right now, bro? Are you serious? Cody motherfucking Rhodes? He was in, and the reason why he left AEW was because he wanted more money. And he came to WWE because they were going to give him more money and more of a time to shine, unlike Tony Khan. Are you serious right now? No. He's had one feud the whole time he's been back, and that qualifies him to win, to dethrone Roman motherfucking Reigns. He's been on top for 2 years. Hell, he's been on top for half of the decade. And this guy, who came from AEW, who was a jobber before he left the company, got released because he was a jobber, is going to dethrone Roman Reigns? Yo, who is bro, what kind of fans think this is logical? This is dumb. That would not make any sense. I don't care if Cody Rhodes is to come back and win the Royal Rumble. Him dethroning Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns taking him seriously is a joke. He needs to have at least another feud to take him seriously to win it. Like, was Seth Rollins won 2019 feud? He had a journey going up into that Royal Rumble. Hell, way before 2019, he already had a journey. He's a 2-time champion. He's a former tag team champion. He's had feuds. He was with the Authority. Like, he was strong. He's had feuds with Roman, Dean, Kevin, Finn, Samoa Joe, Triple H himself, Kane. Like, he was booked strongly to win the Royal Rumble. Like, that's a journey. That's something you could take seriously. Like, hey, at least he did something his whole wrestling career. He didn't do anything. Cody Rhodes, he's had one feud against Seth Rollins, and that qualifies him to beat Roman Reigns. Like, that's just a joke. If anything, he should be going back to Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins should be taking a win over him. Because I think it's a complete joke that Seth Rollins put him over 3 times. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That's a joke. No. If WWE is thinking clearly, I feel like the best person to dethrone Roman Reigns, if they book it right, would be Seth Rollins. And I know that that's also a problem too, because Seth Rollins hasn't been booked strongly lately. He's kind of just been putting over a lot of people to make them look credible when they're not going anywhere with that momentum. So it's just kind of dumb. And I guess that's why a lot of fans is like, okay, well, Cody beat Seth Rollins. Why can't he go anywhere with that momentum? But it's like, why the hell would he dethrone Roman Reigns? That doesn't make any sense. That's not believable. I'm sorry. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. I don't know. There's no real babyface to kind of take seriously to dethrone Roman Reigns. Not even Cody Rhodes. Like, he's okay. He's basic on the mic. His promos are repetitive and they're the same. At least if you're gonna be a babyface, at least be creative about your promo cutting. Like, his promos are like literally the same. Like, they were literally the same every week. The same. And like, his psychology isn't really all that great. He's not bad in the ring. Like, I don't think he's bad. Like, his moves are kind of more like high flying, and that's fine. But like, I honestly feel like if he did not come back and fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, I don't think the fans would be behind him like they really are. Or maybe some of them used to watch AEW. I don't know about that. I really don't care about that. But honestly, I feel like if WWE did not trust Seth Rollins to put him over, then I don't think Cody Rhodes the fans would not have been behind him so many times. And that also just shows you that Seth Rollins is also a star too, whether people want to believe it or not. Because if WWE trusts him enough to put over Cody Rhodes, this returning star, to trust him and put him over, come on. Like, seriously, you want Roman Reigns to put this guy over. A former jobber. He's had one feud. No journey, and he might win the Royal Rumble. Are you serious right now? No. I know people talk about that he should fight The Rock and then fight Cody Rhodes again at night 2. Like, that's fucking stupid. That's just dumb. That's dumb to me. No, what they should be focusing on is The Rock and Roman Reigns. They need to be building this up because WrestleMania is almost here. They need to be focusing on The Rock and Roman Reigns, And I have no idea what the hell is going on with this whole bloodline situation. So I'm gonna make another video about that. But they need to be focusing on The Rock and Roman Reigns. That's why I feel like this whole Royal Rumble thing is kind of just like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Because we know we're getting Rock and Roman Reigns this year. So why would you have someone win? What, so they could lose at Fastlane and what, make another triple threat match like you did with Daniel Bryan? Like, that's just lazy. Like, that's just a lazy booking. I do not want to see that for a second time. Like, no offense to Daniel Bryan, I love him too, but him being in a triple threat, him being in a match with Roman Reigns and Edge took away the dream match that I wanted to see. And we had to get it at Money in the Bank. Like, I wanted to see it at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is a bigger pay per view than Money in the Bank. Like, what? So Cody Rhodes should not dethrone Roman Reigns. Like I said, honestly, if we talk about from a storyline standpoint, it should be Seth Rollins. But that can only work if Seth Rollins turns face, a true baby face, and they give him strong thing, like a strong storyline, strong opponents to make him look credible to challenge Roman Reigns. I don't want him to just turn face and just automatically get a title shot. No, I want to see this get built up. But honestly, if they don't find anyone to dethrone Roman Reigns, maybe he should just um, what they call it, disvanish him. Just have WWE just have a long time to reign, and then WWE is forced to take the title off of him because he's held it too long. Like just that, he should just relinquish them, kind of like that, like what Asuka did. He should just relinquish the titles because honestly, I don't think they're gonna find anyone to really truly dethrone him in a believable way. So that's my opinion on Roman Reigns' heel turn about him being like a undisputed champion. Fans are complaining about. I plan on making a video about the bloodline and this confusing ass storyline. So please look out for that video and thanks for listening.